Hey Astra Kids, and welcome back. And this is your 2023 horoscope using Vedic astrology. Just a quick disclaimer here that this is going to be according to Vedic astrology, which is using the sidereal zodiac. So if you're not familiar with what your sidereal moon sign or ascendant sign is, make sure to check out my free calculator down below in the description so that you have the correct information. Also, this horoscope will be according to your moon sign or rising sign. So this is not according to your sun sign, as the rising sign and the moon sign are mapping out your life. In particular, the rising sign is mapping out the lessons and experiences that you are going through, where the moon is mapping out your life according to how you are perceiving it, how it is happening within your mind, how it is making you feel internally. So these are the most important points to read your chart from. If you want to go deeper to understand how your chart actually plays out for you, actually getting into the planets, how they're aspecting one another, different transits, how they're impacting your life, the dasha periods that you're going through, all of these different factors, make sure to check out my brand new website where you can book an appointment with me. So, stepping into 2023, we will see a lot of major changes happen. But in particular, as we are coming into January, we will see Saturn shifting its position. So we've been in this 2.5 year cycle now of Saturn and Capricorn. But Saturn will be stepping into its Mulitricone sign of Aquarius. And this is a very powerful position. Throughout most of 2022, we're going to see Jupiter in the sign of Aries as well. And as we come towards the end of 2023, we're going to see Rahu shifting into Pisces and Ketu shifting into Virgo. We'll see that on October 30th, so more towards the end of the year. But we're going to have some major changes as Jupiter comes into Aries here in April and as Saturn is coming into Aquarius at the beginning of the year. So this is a huge year that is all about moving ahead, all about making some major changes and decisions, about having the confidence to go for what you want. We are going to see Saturn for the majority of this year in the nakshatra of Shatabisha. So Shatabisha is a nakshatra that is very mysterious, that is very much about science and mystery and exploration. It is a very intellectual nakshatra that likes to learn, that likes to delve into the mysteries. So this is a great time for anyone who is into research, anyone who is wanting to learn, wanting to get into their studies. And also this Jupiter in Aries is going to support this as well, because Jupiter will start off its transit in the nakshatra of Ashwini, and Ashwini is a very intelligent nakshatra as well. It is all about getting to the truth, as it is our first Ketu nakshatra. So Ashwini is a nakshatra that is drawn to the mysteries, that is drawn to philosophy, that is all about learning, that is all about absorbing knowledge and information and understanding it at a deeper level. So this is a very academic nakshatra. And so Jupiter is going to do very well as it comes into Ashwini, as Jupiter is again about knowledge, about learning, about travel. Ashwini also is a nakshatra that is all about adventure as well. So it is also akin to traveling. And we're going to see traveling is a theme as well, as Rahu comes into Pisces for some of you. As Pisces is about foreign travels, it is about isolation, spirituality, and so all sorts of long distance travel, whether that is foreign or whether that is happening on a deeper level as far as spiritual journeys and delving deeper. So this is a very interesting year that we are coming into with all of these different moving pieces here. K2 in Virgo is a bit of a tricky position as it can give us some perfectionistic tendencies wherever this is placed in your chart. K2, remember, is a planet that is all about letting go, that is all about surrender. But K2 also has a side to it that is very stubborn because K2 is very much about our belief systems, about our deeper truth. So it is very adamant about what it believes. Remember that K2, although it is about spirituality, it is a very fiery, smoky kind of energy. So there is an intensity to K2, a very transformative energy that is behind it. And so as K2 comes into Virgo, it is a very critical time. It is about perfection, it is about details. And we can see some difficulties related to health as well. There's a lot around health as we're seeing Jupiter coming into Ashwini, which is health related. We're also going to see Rahu in Ashwini as we come into this next year as well, as we're finishing out this transit of Rahu in Aries. And then, of course, we have Saturn that's going to move into Shatabisha, which is also related to complicated illnesses and miracle healing. And so there is a lot that is centered around health, that is centered around healing, that is centered around natural medicines that can come up during this year as well. There can be a lot of war, and we are going to see Rahu coming into a conjunction with Jupiter as well. And so Rahu and Jupiter together is creating a very interesting yoga where we are going to see some explosive energies coming in here. Remember that Rahu is very obsessive. It blows everything up. And Jupiter is a very expansive planet. And we have it in this fiery sign of Aries. So this is going to be a very interesting energy that is all about risk taking, that is all about being daring, courageous, bold, going for what you want. But you want to be careful with that Rahu influence in there, as Jupiter and Aries can give us a great deal of luck and success around our achievements, as Aries is all about that willpower, that strength, that determination, that originality, that ability to pioneer and trend set. But Rahu is a planet that is very unstable, that can get us into some difficulties. So as Jupiter and Rahu come together, this is a great time to plan for what you want, but you also want to use some caution coming into this transit as well. For those of you with a Libra moon or Libra ascendant, Saturn will be shifting into your fifth house at the beginning of the year. So as Saturn comes into Aquarius, this can bring some challenges in the area of children. Your children can have some difficulties with their education or sicknesses or problems within their lives. And this can be an area that you're putting your focus into. However, this can work itself out. Remember that Saturn is in its Mula-Trikona sign in Aquarius. Very powerful position, and especially for your chart, as Saturn behaves as your yoga karaka. So very powerful benefic in your chart that can bring you a lot of success during this transit. As Saturn is here in the fifth house, it also can put a lot of pressure and demands on you as far as your education is concerned. You can find that your studies are very challenging and difficult at this time. It demands a lot of patience, a lot of effort, a lot of hard work. This can be a time where you're thinking about leaving a course or leaving education altogether. But if you stick with your education, it can give you good results. Remember that Saturn is slow moving. So this will help you over time if you're putting in the effort, the focus, the commitment in this area. This can also be a time where you are having some difficulties around your spouse. And so your spouse can have differences in opinions, you can have arguments, conflicts, concerns coming up. This is definitely a time to work out any kind of difficulties that you have in your relationships. Everything is going to come to the table with Saturn here in this fifth house. Saturn, as it aspects over to your seventh house, is going to make you very serious about relationships. So if you are not addressing issues now, bringing concerns up, this can definitely lead to some long-standing issues and conflicts down the road in your relationship. If you're single, this can bring you a relationship as well, but again, you're more serious with Saturn in here, where this is making you think long term in terms of what do you want, what are you looking for. This is definitely something that you want to put more energy and focus into, as this is going to set the table for your relationships. This also can help you in business as well. You can get a lot of creative ideas, a lot of different solutions in business, but it does demand you to work harder in this area. So this is definitely going to be a time of slow moving growth for you. Saturn in the fifth house can also put a strain in your relationships with your friends, with your network circle. You can find yourself starting to distance yourself from others during this transit. So it is important that you're paying attention to your relationships, that you're being supportive, that you're being attentive in these areas. If you are struggling in your friendships, you may lose some friends. This may be a time of clearing out old connections that no longer serve you, and this can help you to bring in brand new connections. But all of your new connections coming in during this transit are going to be more serious, more mature, more business oriented. So you can attract a lot of people in who can help you in your area of business. But ultimately, this makes you a little bit more isolated, a little bit more withdrawn from your social circle, as you have a lot of pressures, a lot of commitments, a lot of responsibilities coming up during this transit. This also can make you very concerned about your wealth, your income coming in. And so this can definitely slow down your wealth, but also this can give you a lot of solutions. Remember that Saturn is here to help you as your yoga karaka and is moving slowly. So this can give you solutions that bring in some slow progress in this area. In particular, in the beginning of this Saturn transit is where you can see a lot of delays and obstacles in your wealth. This ultimately is definitely a time where you can see a lot of conflicts, a lot of issues popping up. This can also give you some difficulties around family members as well. This is definitely a time where you want to watch your speech. You want to make sure that you are addressing everything clearly, bringing issues to the table. With this Saturn transit, this can cause some separation with family members, and this can also be a time where family members are demanding more support, more effort from you. And so you can find that a lot of people are looking for your help, looking for you to be more active, more so participating in the responsibilities and supporting other people around you. This is a time where a lot of people can demand a lot from you. So you do want to pay attention to your health, especially as we still have this Rahu Ketu axis. Rahu in that seventh house pulling a lot of people in. So, especially from the beginning of the year till the end of October, this can be a very draining time where you're having a lot of people, a lot of responsibilities, a lot that is overwhelming you. So you do want to practice self-care. You want to make sure that you are taking care of all of your needs, doing anything that is going to make you feel at peace and relaxed. Now, in April, we will see Jupiter shift into Aries. So Jupiter has been in Pisces for some time now, and this has been a slightly difficult position for many of you with Jupiter in that sixth house. It has given you some solutions or some knowledge to some of your health struggles, but Jupiter in that sixth house ultimately being a functional malefic, this has been a difficult time for health with many of you, where this has been a time where some of you may have gotten into overindulgence, gotten into habits that are not good for you. So as Jupiter shifts ahead into the seventh house, this can help you a lot in terms of your relationships. Now that Jupiter moves into this seventh house, it will receive an aspect over from Saturn. And so all of these areas where you're putting your energy, your effort, your hard work into, Jupiter is coming in here to help you to expand in these areas. Jupiter in the seventh house can open up new opportunities for relationships if you're looking for a new partner. This can also open up opportunities in business. So this can expand your network circle. This can bring in a new business partner if you're looking for it. It can bring you different opportunities to increase your wealth, your income at this time. It also can make you more optimistic and future oriented. It changes your personality as Jupiter is aspecting over to your first house. Now, you do want to be careful at the beginning of this transit while Rahu is still in Aries. Rahu, Jupiter in that seventh house can cause some challenges around relationships where you're attracting in the wrong people into your life. So, you do need to use discernment during this period. But ultimately, as Rahu leaves this Jupiter conjunction, this is going to open you up to a lot of positive influences, positive people coming into your life who can support you. This can bring in a lot of conflicts as this is your sixth and third lord. This can bring in a lot of competitors, a lot of difficulties in your life. But ultimately, this isn't going to hurt you. This is going to give you a lot of confidence, a lot of optimism to deal with these areas. This is a time where, again, you can find a lot of pressure, a lot of hard work is needed, particularly in areas that involve education, any of hobbies that you have, any side jobs, entrepreneurship roles, anything that you are pursuing on the side is definitely going to require a lot of effort. This can be a time where you're a little bit careless in these areas where you may drop an interest or a hobby and change to something else. This can also cause some misunderstandings because you're more optimistic. You have a much broader perspective coming into this transit of Jupiter. And so this can create communication issues with those who are not seeing from your point of view. With siblings, especially, there can be a difference in philosophies. So you definitely want to work out any kind of conflicts related to siblings because this can cause some separation or distance. We're also going to see Rahu shifting into Pisces in your sixth house and Ketu shifting into Virgo there in your 12th house at the end of October. So this is a very significant transit because we have the nodes that are coming into their respected houses. So Rahu is very strong in the sixth house where this can help give you some strength in overcoming competitors, obstacles, dealing with daily issues in your life. It can get you on top of health concerns. Rahu in there gives you ingenious abilities to find the right medicines, the right doctors, to gain the right information, how to cope with health and any kind of outstanding health concerns. Rahu in the sixth house can bring you a lot of competition, though, a lot of obstacles, as much as it can give you the strength to overcome those. So, this is definitely a time where you want to pay attention to your health because Rahu in the sixth house can increase your stress levels. And so, this is definitely a time to think about things that can help you to reduce any kind of stress, anxiety. This can get out of proportion with Rahu in the sixth house. Ultimately, though, Rahu here is giving you a lot of strength to overcome obstacles and difficulties. This can also be a time where you are getting ingenious ideas about your career, about things that you can do in your career that can get you multiple streams of income, that can get your wealth to increase, getting you into different areas. But remember that there's a lot of pressure, a lot of work, a lot of responsibility that is needed in these areas. So this can overwhelm you with all of these new ideas coming in. This is a time to use discernment about what it is that you want to do in terms of your career. How much responsibility do you want to take on at this time? This can also cause some conflict with bosses. For those of you who are in careers that you don't like, where you are attempting to step down into self employment, this Rahu placement can help you in this area, giving you some new ingenious ideas about what you want to do. This also can be a time where you are very much in a different mindset from your family members, where you're taking a different path. So there can be a difference in your values in terms of your connection with those closest to you. And this also can be a time where you want to watch your diet. This can increase your appetite as well. Now, K2 back in your 12th house can make you a bit wandering, drifting off. This can be a time where you are wanting to isolate, to detach, to disconnect. And this can be a great time for your spiritual progress, but remember not to go too far into this detachment, to make sure that you're paying close attention to your daily life as well. This is an excellent time for any kind of relaxation, meditation, anything that can bring you a sense of peace.